1, 2, 3, 4. It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. Whoa, we got 5 people. Bunny has to use the odd one out mic on the Bennettarium. Oh boy, it's the Bennettarium, and we're starting right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bennettarium. I am one of your hostesses, Cupcakes, Bunny Bennett, aka Isabella Bunny Bennett, aka Rabbit the Robot.
I'm hostess Cupcake Ding Dong, Bryan Bobrin, aka Zero.
I'm Camille Penyak, aka Walter Worker Camille.
What's your hostess Cupcake?
Hostess Pink Snowball.
Oh yeah,
The worst.
yeah, my mom loves those.
I'm gonna say
All right, that's it.
Dunkin' Sticks.
Who do I have to fight? Green Snowball? Who doesn't like snowballs? Those are the best hostess pastries.
I'm not a coconut person.
My mom loves them.
I mean, I like some
best.
coconut things, but
Freeze
not
them.
But
They're
not
good. They are.
Freeze them.
And
not garbage.
Yeah. We
pastries.
still have them frozen in our freezer from when Hostess died out for a while.
Today we're
We
joined by.
went to all the 7-Elevens and rated all the snowballs. Apparently they're
It's
not as
horrible.
good
So,
now. God.
Jeez, I wonder
What does that
why.
leave me with? Do
Yeah.
I have to be the Twinkie?
There's so many hostess products.
Well, you could be a different color. I don't eat any of them. I don't know them
You
all.
can
You
be
could be green
Ho-Ho or
snowball.
like
But what, are there
white
white snowballs?
Little Debbie's.
I adjusted the camera to
Chocodiles?
make it
Yeah,
look a little better,
chocodiles.
because I realized I gave myself so
But
much space
okay, and
in-
we're joined by 2 mystery people who will not introduce themselves.
My name is Chelsea Penyak. I'm a Walter Worker. And I'm a Snowball. Camille and I are both Snowballs.
There you go,
Yeah.
you sisters. You can
What
be
is?
Yeah.
There's 2 in a packet.
They're
Two
the
in a
only,
packet.
those are the only Hostess snacks we're eating.
And my name is David Michael Bennett, and I play the Spine in Steam Powered Giraffe, and I don't like most things.
All right, so he's the Twinkie.
You got a little lasso. Like,
I'm trying to think. I don't want
Oh
any
my
of those
god, he
things.
is the Twinkie.
Twinkie. You're totally the Twinkie.
Oh,
Rex
that's what-
Moxley.
I was gonna say oatmeal cream pie. That's Little Debbie.
Yeah, it's a little
Those are
different.
great. Those are great.
Which one? Coconut cream pie?
No, just cream pie.
Oh, well,
those
if,
are good.
if we can be things
Oatmeal
that
cream
aren't
pie.
Hostess, then I'm the Cosmic Brownie.
I'm the bread.
Yeah.
I'll be a
Just a little
Swiss
rainbow
cake roll. What's
chocolate
up with
chips.
those?
Well, it doesn't even make sense because the joke was. No, anyways. So we're gonna start off with some. No, we're not. Steam Powered Giraffe role playing. Nah, we're not gonna do that.
Nah.
Right off the bat? I mean,
Nah.
that's a little
Let's talk about our
Excessive.
weekends coming up.
Oh, all right.
It looks like Bunny has something to say about her
Oh.
weekend.
No, I was just I was just trying to get a. No one has anything
Get
to
a
do.
go- yeah.
I don't think I'm
on the
doing
weekend.
I'm gonna go see a show at the Signet Theater over tonight. And I think it's like the Sweet Georgia Brown, The Adventures of Sweet Georgia. No, I don't know. I don't really know what the name is, but it looks exciting, and I'm excited to go see it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anybody else?
I might see that new Jackie Chan movie.
It looks good. The Foreigner.
Yeah, the non-funny one.
Yeah. There is a play called The Foreigner that's very funny, but it's not the same. I don't think it's the same movie.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I have any plans. Nope. I'm tired. Camille and I spent all day at Disneyland yesterday, so I think I'm just gonna
what?
lay in bed and play
What'd
video
you,
games.
What rides did you ride?
Only a few. We
Tell
went
me.
with our friends.
Oh my god! So
Oh, yeah,
anyone
this is
who
the best story
goes
ever.
to Disneyland knows that the Peter Pan dark ride is the most craziest line.
It's
in
impossible
all
to
of
get on.
Fantasyland.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Like
Yeah.
you'll wait an hour.
I think
Just to go flying.
I don't think I've been on it in 5 years because every
Yeah.
time I go, I'm like,
Well, I
I am
mean,
not waiting an hour
it is the
for a
best.
30-second
Yeah.
ride.
It's
You
awesome.
go,
yeah.
it's
It's
like,
You
really
fly over the
cool.
city,
And that's
they have the
why-
music.
That's why the line is so long.
Yeah.
It's the best dark ride, but I refuse to stand in that hour-long
Yeah.
line.
So we decided we're just gonna do it. We're gonna wait in it no matter what. So we walk up, it's closed, and we're like, of course. But we notice a tiny group of people standing in a
Off to
line
the side.
off to the side of the
Yeah.
line. So we're like, let's just get in it. We get in it, and it starts
They
moving. The
immediately
ride
open the
opens.
ride.
5-minute wait.
walked on
Yeah.
to the most impossible to get on dark ride in the park. I was like,
So what makes it a dark ride? What's up? What's that?
it's
The black
the
lights?
Fantasyland rides with
Okay.
the black lights.
Is
So,
Mr.
like the
Toad's
little story
Wild
rides.
Ride? Oh.
Yeah.
That's a
Well,
dark
then
ride.
I
I
don't
mean-
know that you can claim that Peter Pan's the best dark ride.
Yeah, you're
You're
Mr.
right.
Toad's Wild Ride is
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
go
I've
to
been
hell
on
in
all-
Mr. Toad's
I've
Wild
been on
Ride.
all of them,
Nice
and
and
they're
warm.
they're not the best rides in the park, but
No.
but Mr. Toad is best, definitely
by far.
by far.
Yeah.
Like, by,
Well,
by,
ha-
by a technical standpoint,
Oh,
it's
no,
definitely
it's-
by by far. go to hell.
It-
You get by a train and go
And
to
it's like
hell.
hot.
Yeah.
It's
Nice
like
and
start
warm.
sweating.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh,
You go
hell
on
is hot.
it if you got wet on Splash Mountain.
I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Mr. Toad
Oh, you
is
dry off.
it's definitely the best dark ride. But Peter Pan is really cool because almost everything is below you because
Yeah.
you're in the flying pirate ship. And they have that one room that's just the city of London,
Yeah, I
like
really-
underneath
I
you with
really
all the
do
lights,
enjoy
and
it, yeah.
it's very different and unique,
That
and
part's
that's
cool.
But
why
I
You kind of go
people
down
flock to it.
sometimes. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
I don't think I like any of the other ones. So
That- well,
Alice
the
is
main
pretty cool.
issue is
I don't
that
know.
it's,
I never
they're
go
just
on Alice though either because teacups. I
they're
don't
just giant glossy statues of
Yeah.
the characters,
You get
Yeah.
distracted. Like,
and they're just like, "Oh no, Wendy!" or whatever happens in that movie.
Well, like, and we were laughing
When
because
Wen-
like
you know,
that
when Wendy
one
dies.
little part of the Peter Pan ride is like super darkly
There's
lit,
so
like
much
they're trying to
blood.
hide it.
You know, it's charming, but I wouldn't say it's worth waiting in line for.
Yeah,
The like one little corner with the Indians is like
it's like
it's
really dark.
super darkly lit. I had to like squint to see it. I'm like they're hiding it.
Oh, of course.
They're a
Yeah.
That
they're
whole-
a
It's so it's
What,
so
what
outdated.
makes the red man red? That song in Peter Pan.
Oh my
No.
God.
I remember seeing that as a kid, and I don't remember seeing it since then.
Oh man, it's bad.
I mean, we were born in the '80s, and that was still like a thing. So was
that was the best song in the. I don't know if there's more songs, but
There's
it was,
not many
it was
songs of
definitely-
that one.
It was definitely the best
I don't
song.
know. I always liked
they're like, well, we need a
They're-
song for this.
they're all
What's the
kinda-
best song we have?
all the Peter
here's
Pan
one.
songs
So
are kind of
racist.
lame. There's "Follow the Leader" or whatever.
You
it's
can
called.
fly.
You
Following-
can fly. You can fly.
Yeah.
You can fly.
I mean,
Does
it
Captain
ain't-
Hook have a
It ain't no
song?
Yeah,
Sleeping
he's
Beauty.
like, hey, look.
I got it.
a pirate's life.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
am
Pirates.
What?
Pirate-
He sings Yo Ho?
No,
No.
It's the I can't
What's
sing.
what's the?
A
I don't know.
pirate's
There's
life
a
is a
different.
wonderful life. A wonderful
Oh, yeah.
It's a different song.
I'm Captain.
Oh,
Hey, is that
yeah.
a cook? No,
Doesn't
it's
he
me.
like? Doesn't he shoot the guy singing it? Doesn't he shoot the
Yeah.
guy singing it because he gets tired of hearing him?
yeah.
No,
That
I don't.
movie's
I don't
weird.
remember
I don't.
Peter Pan,
I don't think we're.
obviously.
I'm not a Disney buff.
Well,
Yeah.
that song that you were
Yeah.
singing, you sounded like Danny DeVito in Hercules.
Hey, oh, wow.
Just one last chance. That is the best Disney song ever, though.
What?
Danny DeVito.
Captain
in-
Hook?
So you
when
wanna be a hero?
He's a satyr. He's a satyr, and he's just
Whoop-de-doo.
singing.
I should. I've
I love
never,
Danny
and he's
DeVito.
singing.
I've
Don't
never
sing the
Hercules.
actual melody because we don't want this podcast to be taken down. But
It's Danny. It's basically just Danny DeVito talking.
Yeah.
A little bit of a sing-song voice. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, that's.
Hercules is a good movie.
Yeah, I need to watch
Yeah.
that.
We were
because
just.
it has that. It has the gospel.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the songs
They
are gospel.
mixed
And it's
Anything
Greek.
in-
gospel
anything in gospel is
music
the best.
with like Hercules, and it was like
Yeah.
I remember like watching some documentary about it, and them like being like, yeah, it was. We just wanted to like bring these two very clashing aesthetics together, and it was like
Yeah.
really great.
But it totally works. It's the Greek chorus. It was
Yeah,
just like a
yeah.
Greek gospel chorus. Like, it was just like it was the best.
But we were just talking about how like we want to see more Hercules stuff at Disney.
There's no presents.
yeah,
No
there needs to be
Hercules
like a
presents?
Hercules ride or something. I think Hercules
Or
would make a
Hunchback
good
of Notre
dark-
Dame. What happened to
Oh,
all
yeah.
those? Like gargoyles
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That stuff was cool.
Just the scene with Farquaad or whatever his name is, like having that silky
Frollo?
scarf from
Yeah.
You know, wait,
Gypsy
they,
Lady,
I,
and he's just like smelling creepy.
I swear they used to sell Frollo
It's like
hats.
that's like the whole
I'm
whole
pretty
ride
sure
is just
that people made them themselves.
you go around in a
Okay.
circle around him, and he's just like silent in there, and he's just like, oh. And you just hear people like. He was singing too when he did that. Like when he first go on, it's like bells of no trees. And it just cuts off, and it's like the what? Okay, I'll go look while you keep going. It's still recording.
Keep talking about
This is
Okay,
nice.
but that sequence is amazing.
Oh, yes,
that
the-
song.
what?
like-
Hellfire is
When
like the
Frodo's
most
like-
badass Disney song ever.
It's really yeah. It has great music.
Oh
that one.
yeah, I mean
That's,
they made that musical.
Alan.
Alan Menken.
Alan Menken.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
4-time,
Yes.
5-time Oscar winner.
5-time.
10-time.
Someday. Oscar.
It's such a good soundtrack. There's that like weird gargoyle song that doesn't match the rest of it, but you know,
what was
whatever.
the gargoyle song? I can't remember.
It's like Jason Alexander.
It is Jason Alexander. So.
It's a gargoyle.
What is it? What's it
He's
called?
a-
A guy like you? It's like when
Yeah.
they're trying to like cheer him up.
Needless to say, that one's not in the
I don't
musical.
remember.
Yeah.
The very serious musical.
Is there gargoyles in the musical?
I think so, but wait, is there?
No.
No, I don't think that they cut the gargoyles from the musical because they
No,
kind of
they
stick
follow
out
the
in the movie.
more
They're kind
of
of
the
dumb.
They're kind of like there to appeal to the kids in an otherwise very dark Disney movie.
Yeah.
But no, the musical's really good. And wasn't it originally written in German?
Yeah.
German.
It was a German musical, and then they adapted it. But yeah, we had a friend in that. In when it was at the Playhouse, she was in the chorus.
I missed it.
Very
I
cool.
did not see it.
Oh, it was so good.
Uh,
They wanted to bring it to Broadway, but I don't
Yeah,
think
something
it made
happened.
it.
Something
yeah.
happened. They did like a cast recording of it though.
Yeah.
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 Yep. We're working on some technical hiccups,
Oh.
so let's keep it going.
Technical hiccup.
Yeah.
It's gonna be you guys until
Okay.
I try to figure
Well,
out what the sport people.
I don't know. We've been going a lot because Disney has all the Halloween decorations out right now, and
Oh,
it's really
yeah.
nice. So, yeah, we went with a friend yesterday. We stayed way longer than we thought. We were there like
Well, we felt
all night.
like we felt like gods after the Peter Pan incident. So we're like, we could do anything.
yeah.
So
Whatever ride you want to go on.
we
we
like
were like, let's go on
anything is possible.
Autopia.
we did a bunch of stuff that we don't usually do. Like Autopia was really fun, and we
The
rode the train.
train.
There's like a
I
whole
love the
new
train.
there's a whole new
Like-
leg of the train because of Star Wars Land being built.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
did you get to
they
see
like
it?
changed the track.
No,
Oh.
it's basically like
I'm
a
Star Wars
set
fans, right over here, bro.
Yeah, you
You
can
see
see
like
if you
under a
turn-
waterfall.
Yeah,
There's
if
like
you
a
turn
construction, like
There's like a cave.
rivers that they're.
They should
gonna
just put
go
like
down.
a lightsaber in there, like just glowing forever, like the candlestick.
You know what
in,
this is.
You know, Star Wars. Do they still have the dinosaurs thing in there?
Yeah,
Where it's like,
they added like
the Stegosaurus and the T-Rex.
on the volcano.
The
Yeah.
dinosaurs are like still very not like
They because they
they're-
gotta keep them.
they're still very outdated. Like
Yeah.
they're not anatomically correct anymore. But like it's
but
such
it's
a classic.
nostalgia.
It feels like you're still in like 60s Disneyland when you ride it. It's
Yeah.
really fun. And they did update like some of the lights.
Do they have the
and
Grand
stuff.
Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They added
Taxidermy.
like they kind of like renovated the background so that like the river and the Grand Canyon looks like it's moving. You know, they added like
Oh.
cool lights and
Rainbows
stuff.
and
Alright.
flying birds.
Yeah.
Do you still go like behind Star Tours?
Behind Star Tours?
You know, you do like that little you get in the line. You get to see the Star Tours line for like 2 seconds.
No.
What?
Where? What?
Are you talking about the People Mover
No, on the
back in the day?
train, right?
I don't know about that.
I think-
Maybe you do.
I swear there was something like that.
Huh.
You get to go in Splash Mountain.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe I'm making
Yeah,
things up.
there's the after the New
How
Orleans.
did I get that?
I don't know.
Oh no! Yeah, if you guys don't know about it, I feel
there
like
is still an old like relic from the People Mover in Tomorrowland, though. I thought, like, I think you're right. There is like a tunnel up top somewhere.
yeah,
The-
you
with
would
the
like see
People Mover.
you wouldn't see like in the ride, but you would see like in the line, and you would see
Yeah.
like some of the stuff down there. Like you could see the
Wait,
robot.
yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
really familiar.
Yeah.
They used to have
The
C-3PO
train.
announcing that, but that was the People Mover.
Yeah.
I think you're right, but they took that out a long time ago
Oh.
because it like stirred some memory
Yeah.
of ice.
Little childhood
You're
memories.
right. You're
That's
right.
all I
I
have
remember
is-
like it was kind of like when you pass Splash Mountain, but you're in the train and you're like you pass the Star Tours
Yeah, yeah.
waiting area.
I mean, they've
inside.
obviously renovated Star Tours, so I'm sure like.
Yeah, you
they
don't.
might
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't pass that
I
anymore.
remember
still
it's
haven't
like
been on.
C-3PO was like, "No, this is and over
Yeah.
here is Space Mountain, and now
Awesome.
onto the Hunchback of Notre Dame."
Remember the stage show? Do you guys ever see the stage show of Hunchback of Notre Dame at Disney?
Oh, there.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
was, like,
think
right
I ever
outside of
caught it.
Toontown?
Yeah, I know where you're.
I remember that.
Now that's the
It's Mickey and the Magical Map.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I saw that once.
Yeah.
Mickey and the Magical Map.
Wasn't it Frozen for a while too?
Well, no, they took
That's in California Adventure.
Yeah, that's the
They took the
show.
Aladdin show out,
Yeah.
and I remember seeing videos of the last
so
Aladdin
good.
show, and it was like you could tell all the performers are super emotional.
My buddy David Grant is Jafar. He's been Jafar.
Oh,
forever.
really?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
We
knew
saw it a
of
couple of
Jafars,
times.
yeah.
It was a really
Yeah.
great show.
Yeah.
I don't like the Frozen one they put in.
I have no
It's very
interest in
convoluted
Frozen.
and dumb.
I haven't seen it.
It's not good.
I feel
haven't been
very
to Disney in a long
strongly
time.
against Frozen.
Just like in general. Like the whole
In
thing?
general, yes.
Okay.
I just did not like it, and I
Cool.
just don't know why people.
Yeah. I accept.
I don't have anything against it. It's just was a bad musical that they made. It's
I
not
I
that
think
music itself. Just
See the Light was a better song than Frozen, and
From-
Let It Go, and it got overshadowed.
From Tangled.
oh.
I liked that song.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, like, I'm all for, like, you know, strong relationships between sisters and stuff, but there's a better movie about sisters in Disney, and it's called Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah, there you go. Lilo's such an underrated movie.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maleficent has a similar thing, but it's mother and daughter.
Yeah.
I like that
They
one.
tried to do that with Brave, but it just was like bears all the time.
No.
I don't
Yeah, it
know
was-
what happened.
Just like weird bear humor.
It was just bear
It's like,
jokes.
oh, no,
I was
now
like,
there's a
oh,
bear
I
here.
thought I was gonna get a nice, touching mother-daughter story, but instead I got bear slapstick.
I think
Oh, there's a
Pixar's.
bear in my cupboard.
I don't know about that new Pixar movie coming out. It just looks like the Book of
It was
Life.
exactly like the Book of the Dead.
The
It
Book
was exactly.
of Life was like
Or Book of
great,
Life, yeah.
but this it just looks worse than the Book of
I don't know.
Life.
It might be good. Who knows? I give
I don't know.
it a shot. I trust.
I just hate that the skeletons have lips.
I don't think
I haven't
I've seen
seen
any
I haven't
footage
seen any
from it.
footage from it.
Well, to be honest, I thought Inside Out, like, the art, like, because I didn't know what the movie was. I just saw, like, the posters for it, and I was
Yeah.
like, what? This doesn't look like fancy Pixar.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw the movie, and it was good.
It's really good. I like that movie.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's fun.
Good
So I don't
work,
know.
Pixar.
I like Moana. It was all right.
Didn't see it.
Moana. You didn't see
No,
Moana?
I didn't.
I don't get why they didn't
It's
draw
great.
from the actual mythology. Like they just
Yeah, I
made
don't
up their
know.
own stuff, and I was
Oh.
like, I thought you were supposed to be representing a culture here. Instead, they just make some.
They. I mean, I feel
I
like
mean,
they,
Maui's the only.
the
real thing.
Story, yeah.
I
I think they did a good job with some of the music in it. You know?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like with like actual like I feel like they use like actual like old songs and mix it up with the new material and stuff like that. Like Lin-Manuel, I feel like worked with a lot of people who were natives,
Right.
in making it, which is I
Yeah.
think is pretty cool
yeah.
and super important. But yeah, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's got what's his face from Flight of the Conchords, Jermaine.
Oh. Is he the villain?
Like for like 2 seconds, he's got like a total like David Bowie song in it.
Oh yeah.
Shine.
I saw somewhere that
Yeah.
Maui's character design is kind of based off of
The
Dwayne
Rock's,
Johnson's
uncle
grandpa
or grandpa,
or
something like
grandpa?
that.
Yeah.
Totally.
I saw a picture of him and I was like, oh my god.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll look it up later. But yeah, haven't seen that one. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of behind on like movies. I don't keep up very well.
I've been making my way through Star Trek: The Original Series. I'm on episode 12. I just saw the Balak episode.
The original series, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So good.
I watched a bit of the Next Generation because it's
Oh, yeah?
it's like I didn't realize how like it's really like Twilight Zone-y. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I liked it. You
Mhm.
know, as a kid.
What are we looking at?
Yeah, ignore me. 'cause I-
Oh.
I couldn't. You had a strong gesture. So what? Should I look? Should I be a part of this?
yeah, just imagine that there's people that are watching it who don't know the stream issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's still the audio version and there's still
Yes.
the
Yeah.
recording.
Got
Yes.
it.
Even though
Yeah.
it's over.
I actually haven't watched much of the original soundtrack. Like,
Really?
it just wasn't on as a
I was surprised.
kid, I feel like.
I was so surprised that it was so good.
Yeah.
Like really good. Like
Yeah.
I'm like entertained today, and I have to catch myself. Like wow, I'm actually like invested.
That's cool.
It's
That's
really good. Especially those first episodes. They shouldn't call it Star Trek. They should call it Horror Ship because it's just like what new nightmare
Yeah.
is around the corner.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
ugh. I think it starts getting a little less scary as it goes on. I don't know.
Probably.
But those first couple episodes are terrifying.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess space is terrifying. Like,
There's like a kid and he like
Oh man.
he takes away a woman's face and she just has no face.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
straight out of
What?
old Twilight.
She's only on screen
Yeah.
for like 4 seconds. It's like that was terrifying. It's like, how is she breathing?
Every time Star Trek these kids though, I'm like, I'm just like, I'm checking out. Like the kids are so annoying. The
Oh,
actors.
what was
Yeah.
the classic? Our mom like still quotes it to this day. Tell him, Jim. Tell him.
Oh, all the kids
the one with all the
who
kids.
like create their own society.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like
Oh,
Lost
no.
Boys.
Oh.
Tell him, Jim. Tell him.
there's no good kid actor until
No.
like I don't know.
Oh,
Well,
Twilight Zone.
Run-
Twilight Zone are bad too.
Shirley Temple
Well,
was a good
yeah.
kid actor.
What was the name of the guy who like does the weird face thing? Charlie X. or
Charlie
something?
X.
Yeah. Who like they always like zoom in on his face and he goes like this, and he's like
Superpowers, like,
doing some
just,
like
looking.
mind control
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah.
his superpower is looking
Well,
constipated.
he's a crew member, and he
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
he
And he
like,
gets
superpowers.
yeah.
And he turns
There's
evil.
a lot of good episodes though. I mean,
Part of the fun is like the corniness, but
I always love the ones where they like go back to 20th century Earth.
yeah,
the
it's
one
kind of weird.
that one is like City on the Edge of
Yeah.
Forever or whatever, like where they go back to the 30s, 40s.
I don't know, but it's like that lady.
There's like
He's, like,
so many
scientist.
alternate
And-
Earths that they
and-
just don't even
yeah.
explain.
The classic scene where Kirk is trying to explain Spock's ears to the police officer, and there's like some really good episodes.
Mechanical rice picker.
Got his head caught in a mechanical rice picker.
They always just put a beanie over Spock's head.
The only thing I don't like is all the CG space stuff that they
Yeah.
added.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't. It's
the-
so hard to find a version that you can watch without all that.
They
I'd
added
rather
fun
s-
stuff.
Well, they added just all the space scenes. They replaced it with like poor CG models,
See, that's stupid.
and it's like I just want to see the original.
Yeah.
How they did it. It's like
Yeah.
I don't care if it looks bad.
That's if you
Right? Like you want to see like the technology at the time. And
Right.
How they, yeah.
It feels like a big mistake. I'm sure like fans have been complaining
Yeah.
It's
about
like
that
Star
for a
Wars.
long
It's the
time.
same
Like,
with the
I
Star
can't
Wars
watch.
movie.
I
Yeah.
can't watch the original Star Wars. Like that's so messed up.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go to VHS to watch.
Yeah, he's like, I lost it. I lost.
Yeah,
the-
I don't know. I don't know what
I
I
don't
do with it. Shut up. You better give that to me for free. Like,
I still
it
haven't-
takes you out of it.
Yeah.
And like, come on, like Return of the Jedi. Do I always have to watch that stupid song? Like, oh, waka waka, hoogie baga. Come on, it's like 15
Like,
minutes.
fast forward every
No, it's
single
so
time.
long. So, ooh-la, waka-ika. You know what the song needs? A terrible musical number. Let's add that to it. George Lucas. Come on.
The only musical number I liked in the Return of the Jedi is the one they took out, which was
Yup,
the
yup.
Ewoks.
Yup, nup,
Yup, yup.
Each
Yup,
up,
yup.
That was like my favorite. And
Yeah.
they
Oh,
just,
yeah.
it's gone. It's just out.
Yeah.
It's like what?
I still remember like Camille, you couldn't have been that old, but I remember even like you were outraged
I
when
was.
you watched the new version.
like,
you were
no,
like this little
yeah.
kid
Yeah.
and you were so mad.
Where's the
Yeah, exactly.
We want Yup Nup.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I want Yup
God.
Nup, though. Come on. I don't
Well-
need to see Naboo, and I definitely don't need to see
Right?
Anakin Skywalker. I don't need to see him. He ruined all the movies for me.
doesn't make any
He ruins all the movies for me.
It just doesn't.
He ruined them.
It just doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense
it doesn't make any
because
sense.
Luke didn't know him when
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was young.
And why was
would
it?
he?
Why was it Ewan
He's like,
McGregor?
now I'm young.
Ghost
yeah,
form.
Right?
Yeah.
He's, yeah.
Why does
Ben
he need
Kenobi's
to
got to
look
be
all
old.
young and?
Why isn't Yoda all like unwrinkly and like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
That's
smooth
just-
skin?
Yeah, I always think like Obi-Wan and Yoda must be sitting there like, are you for real? He gets
Yeah,
to be
this-
young
this
in the
guy-
in the afterlife.
Like, old Yoda turned to dust. Like,
Yeah.
that's how old Yoda was. Like, could have went back like 10 years at least for Yoda. Help him out.
Yeah. Why do
Just
I
doesn't
don't know
make
why so
sense.
many people don't like Return of the Jedi?
I love
Yoda's-
Return of the
love
Jedi.
Return of the
Yoda's
Jedi.
death scene is
favorite-
like one of my favorite
Yeah.
film scenes of
The
all time.
Sarlacc pit? I mean, come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
you see, at the time it was following, the Empire Strikes
Strikes
Back.
Which is like one of the greatest
I
movies
mean-
ever written.
So like when I watched it as a kid, I was like, I always liked like Jabba's palace scene
yeah.
and all that. Like, it
Ewoks
was
are
cool.
really stupid, but like I saw it as a kid, and like I love all the Ewok movies as well. Like I'm sorry, but the Ewok Adventure movies, they're like my favorite. They're so
say
terrible.
I've
You've never seen them?
I don't
Oh
think so.
my!
Wait, the
God.
Ewok cartoon movies?
Didn't they-
No, not the cartoon movies.
Oh, we
They
had those
made
as a
the
kid on
TV
VHS.
movies.
Oh.
They made TV movies, like Ewok Caravan for Courage, which is
You know.
the best, and
I didn't know about
Ewok
this.
Battle for Endor, where they have this dude named Noah who's like, Crash, it's awesome. It's a fantastic movie. Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Didn't know about that.
Nobody else seen these movies?
No.
I think I had it on VHS a long time ago.
I loved them as a kid.
Has
I don't remember
anyone
watching it.
seen the infamous Christmas special?
Yeah, I've seen
I
pictures.
watched it on
Oh.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I didn't know
And
that he
funny
had-
fact-
The stir, whip, whip,
Oh,
stir.
The Chewbacca family?
Yeah.
What's his son's name?
Life Day?
I don't know.
They still Life Day is still canon.
Really?
Yeah.
That was Boba Fett's first appearance in Star Wars canon.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where was he?
He was animated. It was like a cartoon picture of Boba Fett.
Oh, Boba Fett.
And that was his first canon appearance in
Boba
Star
Fett.
Wars.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
I got a Han Solo and Boba Fett sock, and like in my head all day I'm just like Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
I like how much these things are ingrained in our like
Yeah.
pop culture
Oh, for
psyche.
sure,
We can
for
all just
sure.
like quote Boba Fett,
Yeah.
and we know exactly what scene we're
Like-
talking about.
Like the inflection and everything
Yeah.
about it.
I don't remember it.
I
don't.
It's when he's Han Solo. He's blind.
Yeah.
It's the
And,
Sarlacc pit.
and Chewbacca's like Boba Fett. Boba Fett, because Boba Fett's
Where?
like,
I just
oh wait, no, he's
love.
behind him, and then he hits him, and then that's what. He goes out. Like
I just love the simplicity of Han always knowing what Chewie's saying. Like,
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
so
they never
great.
They never
Yeah.
like draw any attention to it or trying to like over explain it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just like talks to him even though everything he says sounds the same.
Chewbacca, baby. Yeah.
That's what's so great about
I
it.
know.
I
Yeah.
always, they do that with a lot of the aliens, where it's like they'll
Yeah.
say something and then,
Yeah.
and yet
I always appreciated that about Star Wars. They don't
Yeah.
they don't like try and explain how that's happening.
'Cause you don't
Yeah.
need to.
Like,
No, in
Don't
anything
need
else,
to.
you know, they'll like the babblefish and
The
all
only-
that. Like they have universal translators, but it's not like you need to know that for Star Wars. I
No.
like how Luke is just talking to Jawas and
Yeah.
you know on
R2D2.
Tatooine. Yeah.
Long time ago,
love it.
galaxy far, far
I
away.
always see it
Best
as
intro ever.
Yep.
is that they don't have they're unable to like form the words for the human tongues, or so they can't
Yeah.
even like.
Yeah, maybe.
So you have to learn the alien tongue, but they can't
They gotta
talk to
learn
you in
your
yours.
tongue
I
as
don't
well.
know. That's what I always thought.
Yeah. I mean, because that's a problem just in language in the world. You know, it's like some sounds you don't make in other languages.
Yeah.
You know? So I can imagine alien languages. Some of them don't have mouths, so you know. Here's my favorite relationship is Han Solo and Nibnub. I mean, no, I'm sorry, Lando Calrissian and Nibnub.
Oh
all right?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, yeah, come on, buddy. It's all right. Yeah, dude, it's cool. Don't worry, Nib Nub. Like, I've been talking to Nib Nub my whole
I
life.
love Lando. You know, I kind of wish that new Han Solo movie was a Lando movie.
Yeah.
You don't
What
need
is-
to know more about Han
Is,
Solo.
Lando
but
gonna come back
Yeah, he's
in the
in
new
it.
movies?
Yeah.
No, in the
Danny
new
Glover.
movies.
Oh,
Donald
no.
Glover, right?
Donald Glover is Lando in the old
I re-
one.
That's cool, but I want
Oh.
to see him in the.
He could be 100%. Lando could be
We-
a character, you know,
Okay.
in the
It's-
in the new series.
Billy
Yeah.
D needs to come back.
I met Billy
mean-
D at Comic Con once.
What? Did you really?
Oh yeah, I got his autograph. He was very chill.
Of course.
Couldn't
yeah.
tell if he
Oh,
wanted
you
to be
kidding
there
me?
or not, but it was cool.
He might have
meeting him.
been.
He's Billy D. He's the coolest.
So this is Chewbacca's son's name.
What?
Lampu.
Lumpo-Waru?
Oh, I remember because everyone just calls him Lumpy. I think.
Yeah, Lumpy.
They call him Lumpy in the special.
Come here, my Lumpu. Oh, I love you. I love you too, Daddy
Is that
Chewbacca.
also known as Waru? No.
No,
Lumpy.
they call him Lumpy.
No.
Nah, pretty sure.
They're like trying to like.
But I just
also
like
known as this charming name. no,
What
no,
does
no.
Wookiee
It's
Happy
Media
Life
know?
Day,
lump.
everyone.
It's lumpy. Try to keep that twisted. Lumpy.
Lumpy.
What's up with like Ewoks were supposed to be Wookiees, right? That was supposed to be from the get-go. Like, George Lucas
yeah.
talked about this, and then they had an opportunity in the new movies to have like an awesome Wookiee battle, but then it was like 3 Wookiees swinging on a rope, like, and then that was it. And I was like, I wanted to see like an awesome battle of Kashyyyk, which is like the whole the whole
Yeah.
like the Clone Wars.
Are you talking about like the
prequels?
Prequels,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wanted to see the Clone Wars. Like the Clone Wars
Yeah.
happen like 2 seconds, and it's the
They
coolest parts
happen
of
in
it.
between the
Yeah,
movies.
every
I
time
always-
they go to
yeah.
war, you're like, oh my god, this like the Jedi scene. You're like, this is so cool. This is what I've been waiting for. But then it's like, oh, but now we've got to deal with
Yeah.
this Anakin. Like,
I mean,
we've got a
honestly
personal
though,
problem.
the Clone Wars cartoon series
It's good.
was
It's
like
pretty good.
better than the
cheesy.
prequels.
It's cheesy.
I liked it.
But like I like the stories in it. It's definitely
Yeah.
like made for kids. It's targeted for kids. And there's like a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense. I'm
It-
like, why don't they just use the Force?
They
They've
were able to
got,
like
they could use the Force right now.
they were able to make characters like do things like that were really cool that they never got around to doing in the prequels. Like they actually had Mace Windu
Yeah.
have this like really cool fight, like this battle with a
Yeah.
bunch of like droids in
Kiana
the
Mundo,
cartoon series.
Like
And
those all the cool Jedi masters.
I remember that one part with like all the Jedis like trapped in this like in they're like hiding out in the shell of an AT-AT walker or something. And they have the one like Padawan with them who's freaking out.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
he can't take it anymore, and he like goes running out there, and
That's
he gets shot.
Grievous's first.
Yeah, that's
Are you talking about the 2D one?
Yeah.
Both are great. I think
haven't seen
the
the 3D one.
The 2D one's cool. The 3D one gets better. But
it gets better.
well, I mean, the 2D one's all about like setting up these awesome scenes with like cool art. The third one is like trying to tell a story.
Yeah. I only saw the 2D one.
Wait,
I mean, the movie is terrible. The Clone Wars animated movie is awful. But
I'm not about that stuff. Yeah, I just watched the cartoon. But yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, they always like introduce characters in the movies like before the movies. Like General Grievous was in the 2D cartoon before he was in Revenge of the Sith or whatever.
oh
That's
really?
true.
I
Yeah, he
didn't know that,
was.
That's the scene like where they're all like trapped
Yeah.
and
I
like
was-
the Padawan gets killed. That's General Grievous's first appearance.
I was
in
so
Star Wars.
disappointed when I saw him in episode 3 because he was like a pushover. and
He
I
was
like,
really cool
he
in
was
the
so
cartoon.
cool in the cartoon.
Yeah.
He had that cough for some reason. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
I think that's because of something that happens in the cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Someone
He-
shoots him?
Did
I
he
think
catch
he
a cold?
like he a bunch of his flesh explodes and they like try and put him back together, and that's why he's like coughing all the time in
Yeah.
the movie.
You get to see his lair in the 3D one, which is just, it's a cool. He like gets torn apart, and he has like
Yeah.
these robots that build him back together,
Yeah,
and
he's got like all these like
pretty awesome.
I met
lightsabers and stuff.
we met a lot of Star Wars people that one year at Comic-Con. I also met Matthew Wood, the guy who did the voice for Grievous,
Dope.
and he left my voicemail on my old flip phone was him.
Flip
General
phone.
Grievous.
Yeah, General Grievous was the voicemail greeting on my
That's
old
pretty dope.
my first cell phone. And he's a really cool guy because he was on the sound team. He was just like a sound designer for the
Really?
movie, and his voice was a placeholder for Grievous, and they decided they
liked
just
it?
liked it.
Cool.
They kept it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. General Grievous. Did anyone ever play the Revenge of the Sith video game
Oh, yeah.
on PS2?
Yeah.
That shit.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
They had the lightsaber duel battles where you could
Yeah.
you could like duel out between like Mace Windu and like Obi-Wan and why don't they make that more? I want that.
It'd just be
I
like
want more of that, please.
Injustice with
And better.
Star Wars.
Yeah, but
Okay.
the moves were like, it was like
Yeah, no.
it was a little. I mean, it
was
wasn't
less
like Mortal Kombat moves. It was like
Yeah.
it was a little bit more like dueling. It
Yeah.
was like you had to like choose your moments and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But they could have, you could have.
Wait, was this the fighter one? Like
Yeah.
Mm,
Well,
yeah,
they
well,
had
it's
a
like
two-player.
Yeah, it's a two-player.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
You go through the game like you're
We
either
played that one a
Obi-Wan
lot.
or you're like it's fun. Yeah, yeah. Then there was like you could be Yoda for like a second, like do
Yeah.
like a Yoda mission.
There was a PS1 Star Wars
I know
game.
exactly
That
which one
was
you're
a
talking
fighting
about.
one. Yeah.
But
No,
that's the
but-
Phantom Menace one, right?
No.
That one was really hard.
I don't know, but it had a specific name, and I couldn't even get to like the second
no,
level.
I know which one you're talking
Jedi
about.
power battles.
Yes, Jedi Power Battles.
Oh.
Oh my god.
You can only
Sorry.
get past the first level, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
then you just
God.
die. Yeah,
Camille
so-
and I couldn't even get off the ship. The first level.
It was impossible. It was impossible.
God,
Yeah.
some nightmares.
I
about
remember,
it.
like, back in the day, we only had so many PS1 games in our youth, and like we like, what do you want to play tonight? I don't know. Nothing sounds good. And we like pull that out as our last option. Like, I guess we have to play this.
You give it because it's Star Wars. You want to play it, like you want to get past it and give
Oh
it something
my
fun,
God.
but it just was not. It was not fun. Yeah.
It's like, where's the cheat code?
yeah. They probably did have cheat codes for that.
I think once we made it off the ship and we went down to
But
like
were
the
there no
forest in
save
Naboo
points?
and immediately
No, it was
died.
no, it was like
Yeah.
I don't think there was any save points for PS1.
Think
Maybe.
so. No.
They
You
came
Spyro,
out
were
with
able
the-
to save
the
your
card.
progress on memory cards.
That was just that game was built to be like
Yeah.
once you're dead, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could save on Super Nintendo, like.
Yeah, I
like,
mean, like
your Super Mario
Spyro
games you
had
save.
save points.
Yeah.
Like,
They had the
But
little
like
cards.
you
put
still
in.
you still gamed over, right? Didn't you have to like start over?
Yeah.
Like,
If you
really
ran
die?
out of lives.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know
And
when
then,
that switch
I think in
happens.
Spyro, if you ran out of lives and died, it did give you a game over and you went back to World 1.
Yeah.
But you could load your save as long as you were saving your progress at every
Oh,
like
okay.
dragon pedestal. You could like just like restart the game and load it.
Cool.
Anyone else
I haven't
Been-
received one
been
yet.
playing with your pop
Oh.
socket?
I've never used a pop socket.
Me
Would it
neither.
work on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
100%.
just adhesive.
Just a
Give me
sticker.
one.
Oh,
I
everyone
want one.
has one.
It's just
Oh,
a
the-
sticker.
Yeah, everyone, the cool people, all the cool people have. Ah, yeah!
I don't. Would it fit with the like
I'm
aesthetic of
gonna try
my
this.
phone?
Let's see.
You can always take it off.
Now my phone is a
Yeah,
sticker.
for
anyone
those
who
of you
can't-
who don't have,
We
We have a new product.
It's a pop socket party.
Wait, do I peel this off? Now that was a really hard like left turn into pop sockets
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah,
video
yeah.
games, but sorry, we're all opening pop
But
sockets
we're getting
now.
distracted. Yeah, you peel off the edge of it, and then it'll have a sticker. And you stick it right back on there.
I can't get
I
it.
don't have nails.
I do.
wait.
The one man
No, you
here.
can- yeah.
I believe I might have been an influence in these.
In nails.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
You said all
You
the
guys
kids
had
were
no
buying
idea
it.
what they
Sockets.
were.
We did it. Camille.
We had a few people,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't take it seriously until you said that.
So are all the kids like into this right now? Is
Camille
that-
always,
have
like,
we jumped on the bandwagon before it's popular?
I always get the info from Camille, who works at the bookstore and office supply store, like what the next big fad is. You were the first one I heard fidget spinners from. You're the first one who told me about pop sockets. So this was definitely.
Camille's the
Pop
coolest.
sockets
She
have like
is.
a lasting. I mean, they can actually do something.
I still like my fidget spinners, but I think we produced those fidget spinners like right as the
was
bandwagon
dying.
was dying.
Yeah, I love
I don't
mine
know.
though. I still have
Kids
mine.
Still freak out about them
Oh yeah.
every once in a while.
I like
So
fidget
like
spinners.
what, right in the center?
Yeah.
You can put it wherever you want. I had to
Whatever
put mine on the bottom because I have a magnet
How
for
hard
my
is
card.
it to get back
But
off?
does it work? If you like, can you do this? No.
No.
Is it like
I'm just
impossible?
worried.
This? You can't do that. No. Like,
I have like a
impossible to
design
draw?
on. I'm worried that it would like
well, now it's-
chip my.
well, that's
yeah.
What's the point?
Okay, wait. How do
It's
I get it
more
off
to hold
though?
now.
Is it easy?
I know. I gotta like move this magnet. I wonder if I can even take
You
that
can
off.
get
I
it
don't
off.
know.
I don't think the magnet's
Alright.
probably gonna stuck there.
But wait, so what do you? Is it just
It's
so
like-
you can like hold it?
You
like
can
this?
hold it easy. No, I mean.
Yeah, when you're like texting or like you do that.
Oh,
Yeah, or you could like wrap
Or
your
when you're-
headphones around
when
it.
you're
or
watching,
stand.
if
Yeah.
you're watching like a trailer or something like that.
Ah, okay.
See, like that's I don't understand why phones like stop
I
having
did
a
it.
stand on it.
Oh.
Like cases back in the day used to have like a little stand. You could like kick it
Yeah.
out, and then they just like
Yeah.
stopped. Like phones got bigger and more like you play more movies on it, and they stopped having stands. I never understood that.
Okay.
See, look,
Yeah.
it's giving you all of these things that you could do with it.
Well,
Texting grip, photo grip. How are those different?
I can.
Yes, I mean it's just a grip for you. It's a grip. Like it's a grip for all the things you could do with your phone.
Let's see.
They're now available wherever Steam Powered Giraffe merchandise is sold,
Yeah.
which is only one place: www.steampoweredgiraffe.com. Pop sockets for your cell phone.
Pop sockets.
And I mean, what I've been using it for is just I like popping them out, and then
Pop
it just has a nice feel. And that's all you do. That's all. Because I'm already like holding my phone all the time now. It's like a fidget spinner for your phone.
It is. You can spin. Yeah, you spin your phone.
Yep.
Spin your phone. Spin your phone. Can I take like a exposed picture while I'm spinning my phone?
Oh.
Is that a thing? Is that something that's done
I
yet?
don't know.
Can I do that with
Maybe.
my phone?
I can't get this
A
magnet.
long exposure.
I can't get my magnet
I'm
off.
just gonna. I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna spin it, and then I'm gonna watch it. Oh my god, it's amazing! Things are
Yeah, you gotta like post that somewhere.
Is your face?
Maybe on the internet?
Yes.
Not yet.
Like,
Maybe on the internet.
this is a Bennettarium exclusive.
Yes, it's very fun. What? No. No, am I not allowed?
Hey,
can
is
I
it
not do that?
working?
Is that illegal?
No.
Should I?
Oh, David's not here,
David,
unfortunately. He's taking the
David,
biggest
but I
dump of
see
his
you.
life. He had a lot of fiber.
We need like a button we could press and just like have that play whenever we want.
there is a button right here.
I mean, for the pod.
Oh, you mean like
Pop socket fun.
Brian's not here? Let's play this.
Yeah,
clip.
yeah. Brian's not here today, but we do have this week.
Yeah, but he's here.
He's here in
He's here
spirit.
in spirit.
In spirit. Stupid magnet, come off. I guess this thing is permanent.
Why do you have a magnet on your phone?
Hmm?
I feel like that's dangerous.
It's so it clicks onto my car.
Oh, nice.
So
Oh.
I
for
just have
maps.
like a clamp thing. That,
I just.
Yeah, the clamps
Yeah.
are right,
I
but
put
this
it in
is
my
like
cup holder.
Mine blocks my air conditioning, so it's kind of.
yeah.
Oh
mine
no,
too.
that's put it in the other side of your car.
No.
so you have to like
It
peer
needs to
at
be
it.
where you can easily access it. Oh, we killed him.
Well,
I'm right-handed, so I don't know.
well, you know what? You suffer then, all
I
right?
have 2 air conditioning. units. It's
Enjoy
fine.
one air conditioner.
I only need one. It keeps my phone really cold, though.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
I mean, it's always
Put it against your
good.
face, like, oh man, so cold. It's like
Yeah,
ice
that helps the
buckets.
battery. So
What?
Does
Right?
it?
my battery like drains faster when it's like really hot in my car.
Well, when it's overheating too, it's not good
Yeah.
for the phone. So
Yeah.
when it's trying to do all that processing.
I mean, I have mine clipped up to my AC vent too.
Mhm.
One of mine, and yeah, like when I have my AC on, it just keeps my phone nice and cool. Yep, perks.
pop sockets now.
Go buy one.
Pop
I think they make
sockets.
one that you can attach to your car, so you can just clip it right in, or like an accessory that uses
Oh.
it
Yeah.
to just.
Oh,
I don't
that's
have
cool.
good
That
And
makes
also,
sense.
there's some pop sockets that are also fidget spinners.
Why didn't we get those?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The world is a
I
crazy
saw them
place.
online. It's like 2 in 1.
Oh my god.
That's insano, Captain Insano. I want the Ninja Turtle pop sockets. All right, they haven't been made yet, but I'm gonna make them.
Okay.
And they're it's a manhole cover, and then you pop it up,
Oh!
and then it's a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, that's
and
a
then
good
you can see the Ninja
idea.
Turtle there.
Yes.
Nobody take that idea. Everyone,
You didn't hear that?
everyone, don't use that idea. And if you do, credit 0 for me.
Just 0.
Credit 0. I'm like, all right, good. I don't gotta credit nobody. no, me 0. No.
Right, you 0 credit.
Yeah. Got it. No. That's not what I meant. Don't you start yawning.
I was sleeping.
Then I'm gonna start
I
yawning.
watched Disneyland walking yesterday. And
What's your favorite
I want to talk
Disneyland ride?
about
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain. Yeah. Space Mountain.
Space.
Indy. I'm a big fan of Matterhorn, even though a lot of people don't like
I
it 'cause
love-
it's very bumpy.
Yeah.
Can
I love
one of you watch the
Splash
chat?
Mountain.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
It's
'Cause
so
it's working
fun.
right now.
It
But
is so
like,
fun.
I don't always want to get super wet.
And-
Yeah.
I just need to know if it stops again. But
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
had.
David, what? Oh, hello. I didn't notice you there.
I just came back.
I was gonna say.
Where were you?
Chatting with Michael from Vimeo support.
Oh, wow.
I.
How's Michael doing?
I mean,
Okay.
the pleasantries. Pretty much it was only the stream issues that we talked
Yeah.
about.
How's his uncle?
I don't know him personally. He's been nice. He's been good.
All right.
He's
Well,
been helpful. His
dog doing okay?
I don't know if he has a dog. I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Well,
That's a big assumption that I don't even have a dog.
I mean, there's questions I would ask. People.
I mean, sure. I mean, I could have. I think that would be a waste of a sport.
It would have been better if you just made it up. Yes, the dog's doing great.
So I
So
know.
I wasn't really listening to what you guys were talking about for that.
Well, 15
minutes
I
I was
was
gone, but-
really I really wanted to bring up Shadow of War, but I wanted to wait for you.
Oh boy!
Y'all been
Is
playing?
it time for the video game section of the podcast?
Now that you're back,
Which is
it
pretty much
amazing?
usually the.
Yeah.
I have not started playing it, but I really want to get it.
Did
Yeah,
any
I
of
would-
you
I would
play
get it.
the last one?
Yeah, of course.
I
Okay,
played
man.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so the last one, it was good because if you like Lord of the Rings, it's like it kind of makes sense canonically, even though it's like just game canon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it does a good job of like fitting it into the lore and stuff.
What? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It's like what? It's
It's
like
it's
after,
fan fiction.
It's
but
isn't it after the.
Let's
the
see how much
events?
Brian doesn't know about Lord of the Rings.
No. Isn't it after the events? Gollum's still alive.
No, it's,
No. It's 60 years. It's in between. It's in
Before.
between.
Hobbit and Lord of the
Hobbit,
Rings
Lord of the
and
Rings.
Fellowship.
I didn't know that.
Hobbit. It's in between Hobbit and Fellowship.
I thought it was supposed to be
It's
after.
it's at least a few decades before.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I thought it
So
was
when
after.
does Shadow War take place?
It takes place. I think about a year after the other one, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So before The Hobbit.
Before the Hobbit, sure. Yeah,
It's-
of course.
As a Tolkien
A few decades
fan,
before.
I've seen other Tolkien fans say this, but like, I was really surprised because it could have been really bad.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely very fan fiction-y. They're
Uh-huh.
taking these characters from the Silmarillion and kind of, not retconning, but just like filling in the blanks and like
Yeah.
creating their own little stories.
If you didn't get
And-
too far in the story, there's like a spoiler, but
Well,
now
I
it's
won't
kind of
s-
known
yeah.
that like if you haven't played the first one at this point, spoilers. But so you're a ranger from the Black Gates,
Yeah.
and
It's just done really well. Like it could have been bad in a fan fiction-y sense, but like I really enjoy it.
I like it. It's
think
like you get to see stuff that they get to make up, but it's
because
still, like,
you can
kinda
tell
fits.
that they
Yeah.
know the Tolkien mythology and they like get it, and like they're not just like running fast and loose with it. Like they're everything's correct. Like they're
Yeah.
using the correct names and the correct like historical events within Middle Earth, and it's like fun to see what they come up with.
So basically, so you're a ranger who dies, who gets like ritually murdered by a guy called the I think it's the Black Hand of Sauron, which is
Who
a
is
made-up
a
character,
made-up
but
character.
it kind of makes sense with you have the Mouth of Sauron, you have the Witch King, they're all
Yeah.
kind of
So now they have the
different
Hand of
things,
Sauron.
and so you get saved from death from a wraith who's been around for a few centuries, and he helps you because you
have,
can't
like,
die. You're
wraith
basically
powers.
you're undead, sort of. You walk around, you get resurrected if you die,
Yeah.
and you have wraith powers because he's like helping you
He's
survive.
like possessing you.
And it turns out, if you play the story, I don't know how far you guys everyone
Well, I
got,
beat it, yeah.
but it turns out it's Celebrimbor, which is a ring maker for the
Celebrimbor is the
elven
elf
rings of
who
power?
created the Rings of Power.
At least the three.
I didn't
Yeah.
play the game, but like
I thought it was really cool.
I attended the Comic-Con panel
Okay.
for it for some reason.
Yeah, why would you wait in line for that?
It was like in a really small room, but they like revealed that info in the panel, so
What?
it couldn't have been, that
No,
big a spoiler.
it's
No,
revealed
it's-
pretty
yeah.
and
early
that
on.
the game hadn't come out.
Yeah, it's like
but
you're-
all the diehard Tolkien fans in the room when they revealed that info in the trailer were like, ah!
Yeah,
It's
because
pretty
they
awesome.
could have like made up some random elf
Yeah.
like for the game, but they're like taking from Silmarillion mythology, but like doing it in a way that like makes sense. Like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I really enjoy it.
So
Yeah.
the first game, I think the biggest critique that they had, not that we're a game review podcast, but I'm really into it. But
Yeah.
like it got repetitive, like super
Oh,
quick.
what, killing Uraks? If they said Urak one more time, Urak, I swear, it's like every 2 seconds, they're like, all right, there's a pack of Uraks over here.
So the Nemesis system was like the coolest thing, where it randomly generates and creates your
Yeah,
enemies. And then
They're,
they
like,
like,
harder.
and if you lose, they like make fun of you, and then of course they see you come back to life, and then there's like
Yeah,
you can get
yeah.
your own nemesis, and eventually you get the power
It was cool, but
to like
yeah.
create your own army of orcs by like basically mind controlling them,
Yeah.
and
But
Yeah.
once you're like super strong, it's like there's nothing. No
yeah,
one's
it's
like-
pretty
like-
repetitive
yeah.
game. So the second one basically doubles down on what makes the first game fun and adds a bunch more mechanics. I'm sure it will eventually suffer the same fate of like.
Yeah, of course.
But so far, I'm about a few. I don't know how many hours. Maybe about 10 hours in, and it feels like I just got past the prologue, and now you can create your army, go and do wars with fortresses, and
Cool.
they double down on the cool factor.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you'd have to play it. I mean, it's corny too, like
Yeah, of
because I
course.
mean, you're like
No, and you
Possessed.
spoiled yourself, right?
a little bit because I was reading.
What
some
you
of the,
read me though was really cool.
yeah,
I dug it.
I won't
don't know
say
if we
that
wanna
stuff,
say-
but
yeah, here.
but because I was trying to figure out like what is made up for the game and what is in the
Yeah.
because they're digging deep on some of the lore there, and some of it is made up, but it's kind of cool what they did. But I'd recommend it because it looks even better than the first one. They have goblins now in the game, which they only had the Uruk-hai in the first one, as long as the made up beasts and stuff in Mordor. But that's really cool.
They
that
also
were
have
able to-
Olog-hai, right?
Which are trolls.
Are the high trolls.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And those guys are pretty
What about
funny.
multiplayer?
So there's asymmetrical asymmetrical. Is that what it's called?
So
Or
it's
is it
like Dark Souls or whatever.
Asymmetrical. That's what they call it right now, right? Right?
No.
Asymmetrical. Yeah. So basically, it's like offline. So you can like try to take over other people's fortresses, but they're like input in your game in a way that's like it's not like.
You're not playing each other.
But it doesn't affect your
I was
game.
gonna
It's only about rewards.
I was gonna say, is it
yeah.
kind of like it almost sounds like Phantom Pain, the base thing?
A little bit like that, except there's no downsides to people taking over your base. Like, you just get more rewards if you're able to
There's
defend
no
it.
like co-op, like.
Yeah, there's no co-op. It would be really
I
cool
feel
though.
like that'd be a really cool thing to
They
do.
have
like build your own army kind of thing.
like Diablo 3 for consoles. They had the whole like this person killed someone on your friends list. Now they have something like that where it's like avenge this player, and you're like okay, and then you get special points that does something, and
Alright, cool.
So I wish there was stuff like that, but it's really cool.
Spoilers: the mobile game shows Shelob as a human being.
Well, you kind of know if you play the game. That's in the first hour of the game. So.
Okay,
That's fine.
That's
I mean,
cool. Can you
she-
play as Shelob? No. Okay.
I don't.
like that
Yeah, I don't know.
because she can. They choose their forms, so it's not like she
Because he's a
can't
Mylar
be a human.
balloon?
But it's
Maiar.
like- she's like
She's
stuck.
a Maiar.
She's like stuck.
She's okay. So there's like the Valar, the Maiar.
Yeah.
The Maiar are kind of like they're the. I don't know. They're kind of. I would call the Valar demigods. The Maiar are kind of like their servants, not servants, but they kind of. They serve the
They're
gods.
the Titans.
Yeah, yeah. So Shelob is the same entity as Gandalf and Saruman. She just chose a different form. Yeah.
What else? What are good game mechanics that people don't know about? That would be. In the first one, you just had like your weapons and you would like put runes in them or something.
Yeah.
Now you actually get loot and stuff, and it's going the way of
baby, loot.
it's going the way of loot boxes and stuff. Unfortunately,
Everyone loves
but
loot boxes.
but then like like if you kill an orc captain, like he'll drop a nice cape for you or a sword or an armor.
That's cool.
And then you can equip it, and it actually changes the visual style of, Talion is the guy's name. And I know in the other one that you're able to like change skins and stuff, and you're able to be other characters that were in the game.
Yeah.
That was in a later patch. I assume they're going to do the same thing with this one because there's already characters in the game that are NPCs, and it's
Yeah.
like it only makes sense that you can play as
Every third-person game is like that's how you do the replay value. It's like
Yeah.
now you buy more skins.
I want to change my clothes.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
yeah.
I'll play. That's a different game all of a sudden.
But you have to play as Talion for.
I
all of
haven't
it.
bought Shadow of War yet, but I reinstalled Shadow of Mordor. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna like try and play more.
There's a
maybe finish
crossover.
it.
They created a patch on Shadow of Mordor and they have the Nemesis Forge, which basically takes your save file and then it gives you a world where you have all the skills, and you can just kind of like pick and choose, like trying to like manipulate it so you can get your nemesis and your best follower. Followers are someone who you like turn into someone who serves the Bright Lord, Celebrimbor, and then they transfer into your other game, which is kind of cool. Because then you see him in. I won't spoil where it is or anything, but he's like, "Oh, I was seeing you again. We had a great bout in the da 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 da." It was
we did. I remember that. I was there too.
But I'm enjoying it. It's a big beast of a game. I mean, there's legendary armor sets to collect and stuff. And,
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot to do in there.
I didn't.
Cool.
I don't think I even got halfway through Shadow of Mordor, but I just remember there being like a lot of collectibles and it kind of feeling like repetitive.
Yeah,
I've
Not
never
in
gotten
a not
through
in a
it
super
because of that.
terrible way. I enjoyed the game mechanics
yeah.
and like it was kind of like Assassin's Creed Middle Earth, which
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
I was like I'm all about this. Like I will definitely play this, but I didn't
It's just
play a lot.
there's not enough variety.
Yeah.
in
So
combat,
would you say there's more variety in this game?
I mean, they definitely have more of this. Yeah, I mean, he can do more stuff now. there's just
Yeah.
it's
just like
it's a lot,
you
but
get to
I don't
a
know
point-
what it
Yeah.
I don't know how long it'll take to get to
Yeah.
that point again.
Yeah.
But
But
it's
right
like,
now
yeah.
it's like it's
It
good.
was pretty early on that you were just like invincible though, like
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like, especially because it's open world too, because it's like I can do every side.
They
mission,
have a
build myself
difficulty
up.
setting
By
now.
the time I got
I
the
don't
hard
know.
guys, it was
Maybe
like,
I just like hadn't gotten the hang of it yet, or hadn't gotten far enough in. But I was like struggling to stay alive.
I mean,
sometimes.
yeah.
what's-
Well, that's the
yeah.
thing.
But
it's like, yeah.
but I'm also I hate sneaking. I'm really bad at stealthing games,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I kind of like
like
would just
that
like
stuff.
run into the orc camps and start swinging around like my sword. And I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think that strategy works all the
not
time.
every time. No. You're right. You're right.
But
It
Yeah, but
would
once you
not
get,
work
like-
in Dishonored.
Oh my
which
God.
you never played.
I know. Camille wants to stream me playing Dishonored someday because she thinks it'd be really funny.
You're
As
so
someone who
bad
like,
at
I
it.
would have panic attacks when I got detected in Phantom Pain. I just
Yeah.
like can't handle people like like seeing me. That noise that it would make would
Yeah.
like make my heart jump. I'd be like, no.
No.
Dishonored has that in the game. It
I
goes,
hate
like,
sneaking.
There's like violins. And
No.
like,
I just like my heart is too frail for
sneaking?
theft. I
yeah,
mean, not that
I
stealth
mean,
games.
I'm kind of bad at it too, but I can like get by. I like once like hid under a table in Dishonored 2 for like an hour, and I like had a pile of like 20
This
bodies.
game's fun. I love this game.
Wait, what? You were just killing people every time they came
I
towards
was
your
just like stab
table?
them.
I mean, in those games, when people see you, then you just run and then you wait for them it to
I
cool
was-
down, then you come
I
back.
was trying to get like the trophy where you don't get, I don't know.
I just love how like stupid the NPCs are in those kinds of games where you're like, I watched you play. What was the new Mafia game?
Mafia 3.
Yeah. And I watched him like hide in a bush, whistling to the guards,
Yeah.
and they just kept coming.
Yeah.
Like, he-
What's going on
same,
over there?
same thing. He had like a pile of 10
Yeah,
bodies.
and in like Uncharted 4, you could hide in the grass.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
was guilty of doing that.
I like
Oh, you can do that in Shadow Mortar too.
Yeah.
Hide in
Yeah.
the grass. Yeah,
Except-
long, tall grass.
I was telling them last week.
Except you don't feel bad for the orcs because
No.
they're inherently evil.
Yeah.
Orcs are not a natural race.
Chop
They were
their heads
born.
off.
They were
It's
born
fine.
from evil. They're supposed to be cannon fodder. You're not supposed to feel bad for fighting orcs. It's not like. It's not like you look at an orc soldier and go, "Well, you don't know his life and his family.
Yeah.
We don't know if he
Just
really
making
wants to
sure
be here."
we're always steering the conversation back to Lord of the Rings.
Orcs doesn't matter. You can kill an orc. Don't feel bad about it.
I think we're on a kick right now because we were talking about it
Yeah.
a few days ago.
But
Lord of the Rings. Should
Yeah.
we watch the movies again? Because I just got the extended version of Fellowship, and it's like
That's
super
the
long.
best
But
one.
I'm like,
It's the
why?
best.
I just make that movie longer because
Fellowship-
so many things needed
Extended
to be
Fellowship-
shown.
in my
But it's the
opinion,
best one.
Fellowship
Yeah.
is the best of the three movies,
know
and the
it.
extended version is even more incredible.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's pretty much my top
That-
movie of all time.
That scene where it's after the council, they're
Yeah.
they're leaving, and they're like photos leading them
Yes.
just out the door. Gandalf's like left. It's like that right
Well,
there. I was like,
with-
so good. And the
with-
Boromir stuff, like there's
Yeah.
so much more Boromir.
Oh, yeah.
His
The
second
character
one?
is so fleshed out.
Yeah.
there's I think there's only one where you
The-
like the theatrical cut better than the extended.
there's a
There's a couple
One
scene.
scene where
No,
that made
there's-
more sense on the theater release.
yeah, what was it? We were talking about it.
it was
well,
the
as
Army of the Dead.
Well,
Yes.
as the movies
Oh.
went on, like Fellowship, I think every scene that was added in was great.
yeah,
Yeah.
mostly
Two Towers,
there.
there were some that I was like,
This is a
and then
little
Return of the
Peter
King,
Jackson-y.
they were
I don't
like,
know. I liked
they were like a
Merry and
couple-
Pippin talking at the end.
Oh no,
with
I
all
love
the
that
flood
one.
stuff.
Yes, that
No.
was a great scene.
I think Return
But,
of the King is the one with the
so-
most scenes that I was like, I don't.
By
But
the
that-
time Return of the King rolled around, and they were adding stuff in, Peter Jackson was like getting a little more Peter Jackson-y. And like there was the drinking contest between Gimli and Legolas, which really pissed me off because I was like, no, Legolas is a dark elf from Mirkwood. He's all about drinking an ale.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
brew ale, and like they played it up as like a comedy scene because he's an elf and he's so pure, and he's like,
Yeah.
what is this tingling I feel? And I was like, are you kidding me? Legolas would drink Gimli under the table.
Word.
Well, I mean, he did, but like he's supposed to Mirkwood
Yeah.
elves are rowdy. They're partiers
Yeah.
in the text, and like they didn't. I think Legolas got a little caricature by Return of the King because
I
like
think everyone
they
kinda
found
did.
his one personality trait that people found funny and rolled with it.
Yeah.
But like you said, most of the writings aren't about the character development too
No.
much because it's more about the journey.
No, I
Yeah.
mean
So
Legolas.
they're kinda all
Legolas
blank
is a very
slates,
one-dimensional
yeah.
character in the text
Yeah.
because the books aren't really about character development except for like maybe the main two characters or whatever, Frodo and
Sam. Or is
I'd
it
say Frodo,
Gollum?
Sam, Aragorn.
Sam. Wait, is Sam not in the books?
No,
What?
I'd say
not
Aragorn has a
important?
nice narrative in the books.
Yeah, he does.
Obviously,
He
with
does.
his struggles with his ancestry and all that, and becoming king.
Yeah.
Frodo, Sam, and Aragorn pretty much feel like the only characters fleshed out really in the books.
And Gollum.
To be fair, I haven't read them in a really long time.
Merry and Pippin are okay.
Yeah, but I mean,
In the
most of
books.
them are just kind of there to fill out the.
Just making sure everyone. Gollum is also in Shadow of War,
course
just like
he
he was in
is.
Mordor.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Shadow
yeah.
of
And it's
Mordor.
Andy
See, that's-
Serkis, right?
That's what like.
I mean,
don't-
it sounds like Andy
Yeah. I don't
know
Serkis.
that
I'm
it
sure he
is.
does it
I
willingly.
don't know that it is.
Huh.
No, really?
I don't think it is.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
not.
But anyway, what you were saying is that there's a few exceptions where I feel like the theatrical cut does it better, and the scene with the Army of the Dead in Return
Yeah.
of the King, I am not a fan of the extended cut when Aragorn's asking the King of the Dead to fight for him, and that there's that really dramatic moment where he's like, "What say you?"
Yeah.
And in the theatrical cut, that scene ends. It cuts away to the battle, and you don't find out the
Until-
king's
until they
answer
come, yeah.
And in
until
the
they
other
show
one,
up. And in the
they just
extended
bombard
cut,
him. They bombard him with a bunch of skulls.
yeah,
and
he,
it's like,
he
wait,
says
what?
yes, and they kind of drag
No,
it
but,
out,
like,
and there's all the skulls.
He
and
tries to
Time
kill
to
him,
fight
and then he's like, okay.
the theatrical cut, understood editing and pacing better, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It
I mean,
was-
I like the undead there,
Yeah.
so I was okay
I
with like
mean-
seeing more. But yeah,
I mean, I can
agree.
imagine, if Peter Jackson's sitting around with all the other things, like, all right, what about all these scenes we shot that I'm in love with?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
watched the behind the scenes featurette with that scene,
Yeah.
and they had thousands of little skulls that were hand painted and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
really impressive. But just from a
So,
cinematic
yeah.
standpoint, it didn't need to be in there.
I mean, there's a reason the theatrical won the Oscar for
Yeah.
Best Picture.
'Cause
But to be fair, I think most of the extended
Oh,
scenes
yeah.
add to the movie.
Yeah.
the most egregious omittance from the theatrical cut was Saruman's last scene.
I liked his death.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
It was just
Well,
so
especially 'cause
wrong
it's
that they
Christopher
cut it
Lee,
out.
and he
But
was just
also,
such a huge
The Mouth of
Tolkien.
Sauron was a good one.
That was
Yeah.
a
That
good
was
one
a
too.
good
But I
scene.
think if I had to pick out of the two, I would leave Mouth of Sauron out and add Saruman's death back.
Well,
in.
luckily we don't have to. We can watch
could
3.5
not
hours.
believe
Well, no.
that they
Well-
they left it out.
Well, also the scene where Gandalf fights the Witch King and nothing happens. I don't know.
Yeah, that
Wait,
that
his
was
staff
omitted.
gets exploded.
That's
Yeah,
only in the
but-
extended.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
In the theatrical, they cut away before the Witch King shatters his staff.
Yeah.
So it's
I don't know.
like, yeah. There's a few things. in
And
there.
on a final note, boy, those extended Hobbit movies are really good.
Really?
No, yep. And no
I
one's gonna
have
say
them, but I
different
haven't watched
'cause
them.
No
no one's
comment.
watched them.
No comment.
They are.
Oh, can we end the podcast on one? I know I only got the 15 minutes of talking, but I was looking it up the other night because Chelsea and I definitely want to rewatch it now that I'm on a kick from the game.
Yeah.
You know how
Rewatch.
it is. You see the
Yeah.
game. Oh, I want to watch the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
But
Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
All
yeah,
of
Lord of the
them,
Rings.
right?
I want to see the Hobbit ones too because I haven't watched the extended ones.
Like,
but to be
Yeah.
fair, in my mind, I know we've probably talked about it before, I see those ones as needless.
So
but
I
I still want to enjoy them because it's from.
So which
that
order are you
lore.
gonna
you-
watch them in?
I
Do
think
the Hobbit
I think the
first.
normal one. They're not meant to be watched from the Hobbit first
no.
forward.
Oh well, I was gonna say do the Hobbit first because you want to end on a good note.
It's not that bad.
if
It's just kind of stupid.
if you want to marathon
I
them
think
with
they're
me,
that
I think they're bad.
if you want to marathon them with me, I don't know if I could sit through the Hobbit
I think-
second.
I think they're
I need to get that out of the way and then enjoy the last.
Yeah.
I
three.
think they're okay movies. I don't think they're great Lord of the Rings movies.
No.
Because,
I don't
like,
even think
I
they're
don't even
good.
think
I
they're
think
good.
I'm the
think
only
they're
person on the
I'm-
planet that actually liked The Hobbit.
Well, they
No,
were
I like the
I'm
Hobbit.
way too
I
long.
like
with
the
you.
first one. What?
I'm with you.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't like.
I mean, no offense to anyone who doesn't like them, but I think they're terrible.
But
They
but,
were just
uh,
long enough. I
but-
can't even imagine sitting through.
what I want to talk about is
Yeah.
is
So
the high
spread out.
frame rate and the 3D that they shot for that
Yeah.
That
stuff.
looks cool.
Like that is like tech. I mean, I know the Avatar is supposed to be doing that as well,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like that was a big thing, and they did both of them, and from the first one to the second one and the third one, he added in a motion blur because of course people
Yeah.
complained like it's too detailed, but to anyone who didn't go see it in IMAX 3D and stuff, because that's like two different technologies like working together. That's like a lot to ask a modern audience, and of course me, I'm like, yay, do it.
Yeah.
Netflix started offering, and probably none of you don't know about this, but they started supporting 60 frames per second high frame rate content. The only thing that they have on there right now is this test short film called it starts with an M. The Meridian, is that what it is?
Meridian, yeah.
Meridian, and it's only like a 10 minute, 15 minute, but it's shot in 4K with HDR as well as high frame rate, and it's 60 frames a second. And it's like it's just a small film noir thing, but it's basically making use of. It's a demonstration of the codecs and stuff of live streaming and stuff, because there's so many new things that no one knows what to do with the stuff. Like, how do the edges on stuff work when it's compressed and stuff? How do the blacks, like, stuff that most viewers wouldn't even know about. But when you watch it, you're like, oh, I see that. Oh, here's some CG. Here's them in, like, with actual props. Here's, like, aerial photography in the background as a back. Like, there's so much you have to think about when the detail's so hyper. And it looks freaky for a bit, but you stay with it for a little bit and it gets normal.
I mean, like,
and
as far as Hobbit goes, like, I don't have to like the movie and the story and everything to appreciate the technology behind it.
Sure,
I think it's very fascinating hearing about how they had to change the way they made the armor and the weapons, because they suddenly looked fake compared to the Lord of the Rings films. They made them the same way, but then they realized you could see way too much detail on them. So they had to make them a different way, and I mean, I find all that fascinating.
It's not just the resolution is kicked up in like 4K, that's obvious, but if you take 4K and compare it to a 30 frames per second or 24, which a lot of films are, to like 60 frames, like if you have Netflix and you have like it on your, I don't know if it supports on PS4, but on a TV, I know you probably do, Bunny. Like, you watch it and you suddenly notice all the pores in their skins. They have an HD version too if you don't have 4K television. And it still looks the same because there's more time to look at each frame, and there's no blurring in between because, you know, LCDs turn on and off really quick, and it makes it. There's so much weird technology in there.
It's the same.
So for that I would say those 3 Hobbit movies are masterpieces in the technical sense. Okay. Like that they still kept to like standard movie making stuff while using this new technology is like, I can't imagine them going through that while also having to split. And that's not like, oh, I feel bad for them. I mean, I do, because you watch the behind-the-scenes stuff and you're like, oh, obviously this was a garbage file at some point. But they made that out of it.
I read some stuff about The Hobbit just the other night when I was like on my Tolkien wiki, run. Like, even though like I didn't like the movies and I couldn't sit through them, like there were things that I missed because I did see the last movie in theaters, and I didn't know this. I like didn't catch it, but when I was like reading about the ring wraiths, the Nazgul on the wiki, I read that one of the ring wraiths, who was an Easterling man, like shows up as like a ghostly spirit in the movie wearing Easterling armor.
Really?
Yeah, and like all these little details about the lore that I found interesting that I wish that I could have like caught the first time around, but I think there was just like too much going on that I couldn't concentrate on it. I was like, well, I mean, that's cool at least that they added those little details.
Well, I'm excited to see the extended cuts. I did like The Hobbit. The other two,
it's just like
it just unneeded everything.
A
lot of it.
Dwarf relationship is like
that was so
ridiculous
in there.
and drawn out.
And you hear the actors talking about it, or that one actress.
It was
and it's like,
they
obviously they didn't
really
want to do
screwed
that.
her over, Evangeline Lilly, because she had just come off of Lost, where she dealt with the love triangle for like 6 years on that show, and she said, okay, I'll do the movie, but no love triangle, no love story. I don't want to do that. And she signed the contract, and then when they brought her back 6 months later for reshoots, it was all there in the script, and she couldn't get out of it. It sucks. That's the business.
Stephen Colbert's in the second one or third one?
Oh yeah,
he has a little cameo. He's on a boat. He has an eye patch, right, or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Weird, yeah.
Of course.
But I did like the first one. Like it had this. It had a sense of the.
Well,
I
fantasy
thought it
to
was fine until
had
he
Gollum
left the
in it.
Shire.
I was like,
song.
it's very. This is like straight out of the book. It's this is so Tolkien-y. I love it.
The song. And then they left.
Well, the first one had the Goblin King, right?
Yeah.
I liked all that. I thought it was.
It had
good.
Gollum. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like the Gollum scene is the best scene.
The Riddles in the Dark is
That's all that
the
matters.
first movie, and
That's
that's
all
what I
I ever
really
wanna
wanted to
see.
see.
And then the second and third one just felt like, why are we watching?
Oh my
what?
God.
It was
Why
kind of
is it
needed.
so stretched out?
Anyway.
Why is it so stretched out?
Anyway.
So long.
I guess we've done this stream for a while. I guess we should.
I'm pretty sure we've talked about Hobbit before, but I will always talk
You
about
gotta get it out of your
Tolkien.
system.
Well,
I'm
I think
I'm
it's-
still waiting for the HBO Silmarillion series.
Did we miss our 1 year anniversary of the podcast? Did we already? When did we started this?
I think we did.
Oh,
October.
October. We started October 15th, I think.
I think, yeah.
Which would
so
be
it's
in 2
coming up.
days. Yeah.
Well, any of you Bennettarium super fans out there who are more Bennettarium fans than Steam Powered Giraffe fans, I guess. I don't know.
Cimarron needs to be an HBO show. It's pretty gruesome.
Wait. There's
some
at
real
least a
web-
year or
there
two
was
ago,
a-
the HBO was going to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that ever fell through.
No, I mean I haven't heard anything since then. I don't think it's. I don't think the wheels are turning on that.
That
but,
would be cool.
There's some definite like red wedding-ish vibes in Cimarron that a lot of people don't know about. Like the death of Celebrimbor, who created the rings, was tortured to death and then paraded around on a pike by Sauron's army when they went to attack his people, and like all this stuff like that I had forgotten about that I was reading on the wiki that I was like, it's time. HBO can do this. They can fill the void when Game of Thrones ends.
They have the Game of Thrones spin-off.
I don't even know what that's gonna be.
Oh,
They're
it's
like choosing
the-
between like 5 different things.
Just make all
I thought it was
of
supposed to
them.
be like the
Right?
the Leanne story, like Ned's sister
Oh,
and the Targaryen,
a
like,
prequel?
all that stuff.
I could
Yeah,
get
yeah.
I could get behind that. I never got the
Yeah.
Marauders prequel I wanted for
Yeah,
Harry Potter.
I think we'll be announcing some Steam Powered Giraffe shows soon.
Yeah.
We keep wanting to, but we are trying to wait till the very last minute that we can announce them. They're going to be fun. They're going to be in Southern California. In addition to the ones that are already in Southern California with Barstow and Bakersfield
But I guess
in November and December. But yeah, we should have at least 5 more shows for the end of the year. And none of them are live streams, so there we go. So sorry, anyone out there. Maybe we'll do a live stream, maybe if we find time with all that. Who
Yeah,
knows?
sneak one in there.
Maybe well, anyways, we'll talk about it later. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It was the Bennettarium. Oh, we had some issues with Vimeo again on the Bennettarium.
Oh boy.
It was the Bennettarium. And we'll see you next week, maybe.
It's always on Fridays now, so it's a party. Camille's here.
My favorite kind of party, sitting it out and talking to Vimeo support.
Sit at a round table.
Yeah. Ew, happy Friday the 13th, everyone.
Yay.
Whoa, it's Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Bye.